I bet you they're not going to play. The people who wanted this are not going to play. So, lore-wise, we've just checked out why there couldn't be any female Custodes. So now, why don't we check on the actual backlash? As to how the actual community reacted, at least those who actually play the game or those who actually follow the whole thing.
Games Workshop has gone the route of Wizards of the Coast, and that means ignoring fans, doing major retcons, and really just losing a lot of money. And now,
Speaking of Wizards of the Coast, I knew a DM who refused 5e for the simple reason that like the because of the whole woke thing, and like his something about the orcs being irredeemable. That's why he loved them or something.
with their female Adeptus Custodi retcon, they have been
Yeah.
facing a ton of backlash. All of the trailers for it have gotten ratioed, and it's not looking good for them.
Yeah.
I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description,
Yeah,
join
like
the
and
community in my
subscribe,
live
you
streams, and
guys.
consider supporting through
Emperor
Patreon
knows
or
we need
YouTube
it.
memberships. Now, yes, I get that there are a few
Hmm.
wokies out there who love this retcon and say it's not that big of a deal. You never.
That is the whole point, right? I mean, those few wokies, how come they're in control? How come these Karens are the ones pulling the strings? How come they have so much influence? It's always been the biggest question.
Were a true Warhammer fan, or else you would not be okay with all of these major retcons happening. I know they've retconned a few small things over the years, but never this dramatic. And it reminds me of what happened with Wizards of the Coast. They wanted to distance themselves from Gary Gygax's Dungeons.
Again, Gary Gygax's D&D was considered to be problematic by, I guess, modern standards. So again, why do they have so much influence? That's always been the biggest question. Why are we listening to the whole thing? Because from what? From Conquered, from Dustborn, from almost all of their products, we're sort of beginning to realize that the modern audience does not exist, or even if they do, they're a minority in a sense that they simply don't have the number that would logically influence things like this, but for some reason they do.
And Dragons. They changed lots of things. They retcon. They left his work in the past to create a modern, more progressive version of Dungeons and Dragons, and it is ridiculous. But Games Workshop is going to face the same problems they do because while they have unveiled their new female Adeptus Custodi miniatures as part of their New Year's preview, the overwhelming majority of people are not happy about it. So there are a few different videos that were released around this time, and gamers are calling them out, and rightfully so. Here is one from 6 days ago. It's got 58,000 views, 2,000 likes to 7.3K dislikes, nearly 700 comments saying, "You guys are ridiculous. Keep deleting respectful but critical comments. Games Workshop sure does make you look confident. It's remarkable you guys didn't learn from Disney. Games Workshop doesn't care
We
about
just dropped
you. Brothers, let us not be fooled by this trickery. We shall not yield a single step to the changer of ways for the Emperor. Selling out your integrity and your customers, I hope it's worth it." Here is another upload. This is their Custody reveal. It says 90,000 views 6 days ago, 2.4K likes to 11,000 dislikes with almost 5,000 comments. And really, none here are positive. There is maybe the occasional one or two that say, "This could have been worse," or, "Hey, I'm still going to buy their products," but most people are
Presently, as of now, they sort of removed the number of dislikes, or it doesn't show the dislikes anymore or something. Either I'm looking at it from a different view, but yeah, no dislikes viewable. Anyways.
extremely upset because, again, when you start retconning, when you start changing, you are leaving what made your product special in the past. Nobody would want the siblings of silence or the
Siblings of
they thems of
silence.
silence, the sirs of
The
silence. No, it is the
she-hers or something.
sisters of silence, and that's perfectly fine. There would be outraged if they were turned into men or there were males a part of it. The same way that people are upset that now there are female adeptus.
Oh my god, I just realized the whole thing. This would be the equivalent of having male nuns. Whole thing just seems unacceptable.
Custodes. It is insane that we have gotten to this point. If you don't like Warhammer, stop making Warhammer. It's really just that simple. Like, stop destroying what people loved and what people found special in the past. Now, this isn't very shocking given in the past Games Workshop has announced that they were going to reinvent themselves. Back in 2020, they said that they intended to inject wokeness into the franchise by saying Warhammer is for everyone, and people already know that. I, as a woman, have enjoyed Warhammer. I've never been pushed out of this or kicked.
So we now have an actual player compared to that other article we checked out where supposedly having female custodies makes her want to play Warhammer.
Out of this group, community, hobby, but they make it seem like that is happening in droves, and so they have to come out and make this big statement about how it's for everyone. I'm sorry.
What
if
is
you
happening?
Constantly need a corporation to reaffirm your place in a group, maybe it just isn't the group for you.
Yeah, it just isn't.
Why
It's
is
not
it
for
you
you.
constantly need your hand held and constantly need
Why?
people to say, you're welcome here? Clearly you're welcome here. And not only have they doubled down and tripled down by introducing the female Adeptus Custodes and changing their own lore, the company reported a record half-year performance just earlier this month. I'm delighted to report a record half-year performance. A huge thank you to our staff, customers, trade accounts, and broader stakeholders for their ongoing support. And while the company is likely to continue down this path and they are unlikely to listen to customers, it definitely is interesting to see the response because most people are unhappy with this. So right now, it might not affect them too much, but going down the line, if they continue to make these changes, it definitely could hurt their revenue and hurt their public image because this is a major, major problem for them right now. I did talk about this in another video, but you even have the Access Media damage controlling saying you're right to be mad at Warhammer's new Custodes, but not for the reason you think. They go on to say if you criticize the female Custodes, you are a bigot, you are a misogynist, and you are a big problem within the gaming industry because, again, these people do not care about our hobby. They do not care about respecting source material.
They only care about the agenda. That's the whole thing. They only care about what they want. I mean, here is the thing. Why would this even bother them? This whole thing is a niche hobby. Why would they even try to get in? Do they even want in? No, they just want their agenda in it. They're not even going to play. They're not even going to buy a single set. They're just gonna be, they just want their agenda in to say they won. What exactly did they win or what exactly are they going to win? No idea. But I bet you they're not going to play. The people who wanted this are not going to play. I have no idea why. I mean, why would they even, do they even want this? I don't think so. Do they even want to play Warhammer? Would they actually be, buying out all the Custodes female set? Because, of course, again, Sisters of Silence, Adeptus Sororitas, the guards, the glorious guards. Alright, even the Navy have had equal representation for decades now.
They just care that their propaganda is constantly being pushed. These people use video games as a vessel to push propaganda. They don't want you to have fun anymore. They do not want you to have this hobby that they view as male-dominated and male-skewing, and so they want to change it so you enjoy it less, and that is a terrible...
Because I honestly don't see the purpose, right? It's a room, it's a box, and you don't even want to enter that box. You don't even want to enter that room. So why bother changing the furniture in the room? That's just, I mean, I honestly don't see the point.
Mindset to have. It is absolutely disgusting that we constantly see this
Yeah,
happening. And luckily, these people get clowned on all of the time, but it's
they
Games
deserve it.
Workshop that needs to change, and they are still listening to these losers. There are so many posts of people rejecting this. There are no
Yes,
female custodians, and I don't care what the modern purple hairs at Games Workshop think about that. Their
modern
vision of
purple
Warhammer
hairs.
40k is a crappy knockoff, and the fact that they can legally sell miniatures for their feminist fanfic doesn't change that. You
Feminist
have
fanfic.
female custodies is the worst thing in Warhammer. The math that proves female custodies would destroy the custodian guard. This is actually a very fascinating read. It is by Arch.
Ah,
He said, let's assume the custodians are 1 out of 1,000 then, a single order of magnitude, an optimistic number. In this case, on average, you would need to go through 999 female recruits to get one custodian, 1,000 women out of the breeding pool. Let's assume noble Terran-born women are expected to produce loads of children as quickly as possible to restock the gene pool, say 10 children. Those 1,000 women would have produced 10,000 children. And
that is the problem. Here is the problem. They just wanted the agenda in, but they didn't bother to deal with all of this. You just have to be woke. You have your, your own private little nook, your own private little room, but we just have to make sure that the furniture's woke. They're not even going to enter this whole thing. They're not even going to join in. They're not going to compete at the tourneys. They're not gonna buy the set. So why?
order of magnitude in the opposite direction. That's a potential 10 custodians right there, along with many potential new noble women, soldiers, aristocrats, administrators, etc. Even if we take away half of them as female, that's 5 potential custodians, all sacrificed to create one diversity hire. It is so funny to see people destroy this narrative the Games Workshop is pushing, and all of these arguments being extremely solid. It's like Games Workshop didn't truly think this
No,
through.
their main argument is that you are sexist, you are misogynist, and well, that's it. Actually, nothing else.
I mean, even these figures are trash. Let's be honest, there's not even a trigger here. This is terrible. I'm sorry. I cannot believe that this is the clown world that we are currently living in. And this is the reality of our hobbies, is all of them are being picked apart from the inside out by activists who do not care about respecting material, do not care about creating content that fans want. They just care about pushing a narrative, and they are willing to destroy anything in their path to seem like they are correct and ultimately gain control over an industry. So, yeah, right now gamers are furious at them, and rightfully so. All of
Yeah.
their trailers are being wrecked, all of the YouTube uploads are being destroyed. Tons of people are taking to social media to voice how unhappy they are, and I do not think that this looks particularly good for this company. But that's all that I really had to discuss in
Yeah.
this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below.
Yeah,
If you found
comments,
this
you
important and
guys.
informative, make sure to give it a
Yes,
like,
we
share it, and
have.
subscribe to the channel. And if
You
you
heard
didn't,
her.
give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
Bye.